Like, she had to make some moves. There's only so much he could do. Like, he could put the money together, but we had to go and drive to, like, Denny's in a parking lot, and she picked up money.
Zero memory of that.
I remember that. If I made that up, I need help. I really hope I didn't.
Well, I mean, it was a struggle taking care of 3 kids under the age of 5 at like 25.
Right, but also kind of worrying like, okay, like I'm not going to work. I know the money's coming, but she had to be like the one to like talk to the landlord or like,
Yeah.
you know?
She had
Right.
6 siblings and she was the oldest, and she worked to help put food on the table for them. So
Yeah, that's what I'm
she
saying. I
would go
think
to
her
school and
instinct
work.
was probably like,
Do I get a job?
Yeah.
Do I get a job?
and he was
Yeah.
like, absolutely not. And I had this Christmas snow globe, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna drop it. And mom was like, don't do that. Be careful. I dropped it and I cracked it, and she completely broke down. And she was like, Dad gave that snow globe to me, and she was like, that was just a signifier that it's over.
Or like
He's never coming home. Snow globe is done. And I felt so bad.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Girl Bye. I'm Mikkel.
And I'm Amanda.
We go by Mick and Amanda, so sometimes I say Mick, she says Manda,
Amanda,
but
yeah.
yeah, Mick and Manda.
Or M&M.
The M&Ms.
We prefer.
Yeah, we had a dance called the M&Ms. Maybe we'll show you guys that. We'll bring it back. But thank you for joining us today. Thank you guys for tuning in for the last few weeks. Last week we talked about autism awareness and Jax, our little special boy.
Yeah.
Thank you guys again for subscribing, for tuning in, and for all your comments. We've had a lot of support and a lot of really cool comments. I think we didn't really know how it was going to go, but so far so good. You guys have been awesome. So keep those coming. We're going to address some of those questions and comments today before we jump into the body of our episode. But yeah, we just want to take a second to say thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Do we do questions? Or?
Yeah, let's look at some of those. We're going to look at some from like the last few weeks because we weren't able to do that before. So we're going to go back to maybe like the first episode or
I think we addressed some of those. So,
the one with
surprisingly, yeah. We weren't nervous because we felt invigorated after what happened to Charlie.
Yeah.
Previously we were a little bit nervous to talk about politics because we didn't know how it was going to be received.
Yeah.
But overall, again, we'll take the good and the bad. Open the dialogue. But yeah, so the comments were interesting. We liked looking through them. I have a couple of them here. They're kind of random though. They weren't just all about Charlie. So this one's funny. Actually, let's start with this one. Okay. Hi, girls. I'm a big fan of your dad. Love to hear your thoughts on world issues. So my question to you both is, did you ever meet your grandfather, Sonny Franzese? And if so, did we have a good relationship with him?
Did we ever meet him? Yes.
We definitely have a good relationship. Like
We definitely met him.
Yeah.
More than a few times. I mean, we met him and then we spent some time with him. I mean, as much as we could. It was hard because we lived in California and they all lived in New York, and he was like in jail. Yeah, he violated his parole. I'm not even sure how many times. He was in jail, sadly, at an old age. So we did see him. I don't have a ton of memory.
Yeah. The one big bank of memory that I
Yeah.
have with him, and it's only one, is that time we went to New York for like 2 weeks. We stayed with Nanny. We call her Nanny York
Nanny
because my mom is nanny to my kids. So Nanny York, and that was very interesting. Their dynamic was like wild. I remember
Very
him
wild.
snoring a lot and
Yeah.
just being like, eh. He was like hard of hearing, and Nanny York was like ready
And
to
she was
kill
not
him at
hard of
every.
hearing
No,
or quiet.
she was like a
I think
snapper.
yes, she was very with it. She always had like very cool jobs. She always took us to like the It Happening restaurant.
Yeah.
Except I do remember one time that not one time. Every time I went to New York, I wanted to go to Peter Luger's Steakhouse because everyone told me,
Yeah.
all my friends when I was younger and went to New York, you have to go to Peter Luger's Steakhouse.
Did we go?
I was like a little on the chubbier side and I love food. So this was like a big deal to me, right? I'm like, I gotta go to Peter Luger's Steakhouse. And Nanny York was so anti Peter Luger Steakhouse.
I don't
for some
remember this.
reason. Of course, this was very close to my heart. And she would this was like I feel like that's how Liv would be too.
Oh
She
my
would be
god,
so pissed.
yes.
So I would say, "Mom, why can't we just go there? Can we go without New York?"
Yeah.
Like, I guess she would say, "No, no, no," because it was in the city and she lived in the island,
It
and
was like a gangster spot to go to.
she was like, They don't do this and they don't do that, and it's so expensive, and they don't take," and I was like, "Nanny." So she had this one place right in the island, which it was really good,
What was it
but
called?
it just
Luger?
no, because it didn't have the, like
Yeah.
didn't have the name, it didn't have the notoriety as far as I knew of, like, the steakhouse in New
I
York.
didn't even think
So,
about, but I remember a
I
couple
was
of
really sad
restaurants like
about
that.
that
They're like, "Don't go, you can't go to this one or you can't go to that one because."
of other reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, not because New York didn't like it.
Yeah.
But no, she just wasn't a fan, and I still to this day haven't gotten there, and so I
Is it
just
still good? I
wish Lil
wonder.
Web to take me
Yeah, what
there.
the heck, girl? That's
I
true.
just take myself there, actually. Oh my
Olivia is
god.
so like that. But now you can like mess around because she'll be like, "Hey, fatty, can we order food?" Like we
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like, "Big bag, what do you want?" Like we talk to each other like that.
Yeah, mom if mom said that to me back in the day, I would have, like, cried
Right?
right to leave.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So the culture
Or
is a little bit different. Like
yeah.
we're less like sensitive to that.
We
But yeah.
digress. We
Yeah, sorry.
digress. We were
Okay.
talking about oh, yeah, so Nanny and,
Oh
Grandpa
yeah, the
Sonny, their
dynamic.
dynamic, their relationship, which was wild, right? So she was very loud, and he couldn't hear anything, so she was always screaming so that he could hear. But she would say the craziest things to him, I can't even remember, and he'd be like, "See how much she loves me?"
Oh
And look
yeah.
at us like, "She's obsessed with me, she doesn't wanna say that." She goes and she would give him
Should
this, like,
I
look
like
of disgust. And it's not funny, but it's funny, like, thinking back, it's like,
well, it's funny for us because we're like, "What the f is
he was
that?"
so, like, resilient to just being like, "Oh, yeah, okay, sweetie, honey, I know you love me so much."
Well,
And
I'm
she's
sure
like,
after
"I wanna
everything he
kill
went
you."
through, he was probably like, "I can handle this."
Yeah, so that was very interesting
That
being
was my only memory with that, like, 2-week period, right? Do you have other memories of him?
I mean, we went there a lot. We did a 2-week period in the summer. We went, like, a few summers in a row. That was our thing. We did, like, the 2 weeks in New
Yeah,
York,
but I
a week
feel like
in New
he
York.
wasn't always around.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah,
Well, I think Nanny would kinda send him away sometimes, and he
yeah.
wasn't allowed to be there, or he
Actually, I do remember going with John, our older brother, because he lived in New York.
yeah.
I do remember maybe, like, 1 or 2 little meets with him.
We would be like, "John, please come to Nanny's house,"
Oh,
because
yeah.
they're just kind of like
Oh my
because
god.
he was so used to
Yeah.
Nanny.
He
Obviously,
was
he
really
grew up with
close
her
with
more.
Sonny too.
Yeah. He
Like,
had a
close
whole
a
different
lot.
relationship with them. He actually really grew up with them, and,
That's another good, question because somebody did ask us about,
the other sibling.
yeah, the other siblings. So, obviously okay, they're a lot older than us. Not a lot, sorry. I think Tina is probably, like 13 years. It's the kind of the difference
Yeah.
between you and Julia.
Mhm.
So, we all have different relationships with them. I actually spent Christmas with them last,
Yeah, you did
uh,
last year.
December, which was awesome and amazing. But just out of respect for them, they have a dairy. They have a very different perspective. They were older, they saw a lot, and obviously our father was once married to their mother, and so it's a sore subject, I would say.
Yeah.
So I out of respect for them, we wanna try and keep their privacy and
Yeah, and I mean, we can't speak for them. We
yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
their what they really went through and how that it impacted them. We only know how it impacted us,
right.
and we unfortunately, it's hard when you live so far away, 3,000
Yeah,
miles away, and I wish that I could see them more, and they have beautiful kids, both of them, and
yeah.
I have
But John
nieces
lived
and
out
nephews,
here,
and
at least, so
yeah,
we have
John's out here
he's
now.
been here for, I don't
Been
know,
for a
like
while.
7 years now?
He came out here first when he was 18 for a couple years, went back home, and
Oh,
then came back
but
twice or one more?
no,
I feel like he
so
went home twice.
no. So he
No?
came here.
Lived
Yeah, because I remember, like, my first real, like, relationship with him, like, obviously, I think we met him a few times
yeah,
when
yeah,
we
we
were
did.
younger,
Yeah,
but was when we were, like, in high school and he was 20
yeah.
something.
And he lived in
I
Walgreens.
think that was, like, a couple years, and then he went back to New York for, like, 15, 20
Yeah, and
years,
then
and then he
okay, so he
just
only
moved
came back
out
one more time.
here. I think it's been, like, 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while. Before COVID for sure,
Yeah,
so
it happened for the Mom musical, so whenever the heck that
yeah.
was.
I think that was like 2018 maybe
Yeah,
at least.
yeah, so he's
Mm,
been out here, permanently. He works construction, like, has a really awesome job, so he's been doing his thing out here. So our relationship with him is different, but,
Yeah.
the girls, yeah, we love them. They're amazing. Their kids are awesome, but their life is very private, and I think they wanna keep it that way.
Yeah.
So,
So we're gonna respect
anyways,
that.
yeah.
Maybe if John will agree, we'll have him on.
Oh my god, he
He probably won't.
definitely will
We'll have
agree.
to
He'll have a lot of good stories because he was very close to, dad's brother John,
John,
Uncle
Uncle
John.
John.
Yeah, so he always like, "This reminds me of Uncle John." Like, he's like, "Make a steak in a skillet," and I'm like, "What?" He's like,
Yeah.
Or whip up a nice, like, bass pasta."
Yeah.
I'm like, "My pasta
At
takes, like,
3
3
a.m.
hours." Yeah,
3
exactly.
a.m. Uncle
Yeah.
John.
So he has good memories of, John and Gia and Nanny and Sonny.
Yeah, he probably has way more
Oh,
memories of
yeah.
that side of the family than we do,
Yeah.
which
And his mom too was, like,
yeah.
very involved with, like, I mean, these are his stories, so I'll let him tell them one day, but he told me some stories. I was like, "Oof, okay. No wonder why you have some trauma sometimes, but we all do, so it's okay." Okay,
Yeah, Grandpa Sonny. He was a wild
okay.
one.
Yeah, he was wild. I have a question for you girls. I've watched about every bit of your content Dad's released. Okay. So he said, I remember watching this. He said that somebody, I think he said that I said that I need to be with somebody who is at least charged with a misdemeanor. That
Ugh,
sounds insane. I don't know how long we did that podcast. Do you?
that oh, is he talking about the one that Jules was on?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. I think it was, like, a joke.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, we all kinda said that.
We just, what we mean is like, you can't have somebody soft.
Yeah,
And this might, like, again, bother ruffle a lot of feathers, but I just think the California men, since we grew up in California, we're not like, there's not a lot of like that New York type of like man. I'm
yeah.
sure there's like a lot of whatever.
Which there's, like, a happy medium, I
Yeah,
feel like.
of course. You don't want, there's some, things from dad that are a little crazy, but I think we just meant like you cannot be soft because I feel like I'm a little gangster myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a chola anymore, maybe back in high school, but if push comes to shove, like, that comes out in me big time. So I have to just, like,
I think
calm
I
myself.
actually, like, made that joke to one of, like, my ex's face, and he was
What?
like, "For real?" But,
What,
like,
misdemeanor?
"You're not a felony." I was like, "You're so vanilla, this and
Yeah,
that." He was
vanilla.
like, "Is that a real thing? Like, that's what you want?"
You
I
just
was
need
like, "No, but,
yeah,
like, can
can't be
we,
soft.
like, I need to know that you can handle, like, some tough things,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I need to
I'm
know
gonna
that
say
I feel
yeah.
safe around you, like, I don't want you to go looking for trouble, but if trouble finds us, I need you to make me feel like I'm gonna be taken care of. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
secure, and if"
Like, if you say my man's gonna kick your ass, you gotta make sure you can actually kick someone's ass.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say
That
that,
type of
but
thing? Oh, I would if somebody's being spicy. Okay, so do you feel like we
yeah.
have that?
Do I feel like I have I mean, my husband doesn't have any misdemeanors or
But is
felonies.
he, like, again,
No, yeah, oh, yeah,
yeah,
I feel
he
like
can take care of
I
business,
mean, he is also from New York,
and he's also
and
massive.
he's huge, and he definitely has a little crazy in him, which
Yeah, it's hard to find,
yeah.
but it's also, like, a fine line.
No, he's very it's really weird, actually. I've never met anyone that like him that is so sensitive and, like, emotional and,
Dad is so
like, needs,
sensitive.
like, physical touch and attention.
Dad's like
Actually, you're
that,
right,
what the
dad is like
heck?
that.
You
Well, when
totally
I say
married
I've
your
never met, I'm not
father.
thinking of my dad, I'm thinking of, like,
I
people that I've,
know, but
like,
when they
dated.
say you marry your dad, right? When people say weird stuff like that,
Oh gosh, he's
that's
very similar, but very different. He does have similarities, but he is also very different. But yeah, I do feel safe with him and secure. He is from New York. Sometimes I'm like, "Whoa, tone it down a little bit," but
okay, good.
yeah, it's good.
Okay.
But you don't want that in your next relationship, just to clarify.
Me? What? Oh,
Someone with a
misdemeanor?
misdemeanor.
No, but I would like somebody. Ugh, it's hard these days. I need somebody who's just gonna be a man. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah,
You know? Just like a protector, a provider.
provider.
Like guys get so mad. Like, I'm just like, why is it such a off thing? I just don't understand that. Like as a man, why don't you want to be a protector and provider? Like we're not asking you to do, I think women do most of the important things, the foundation, like
Yeah,
Cam did. Like,
We
just
provide different things.
provide exactly, like, stability, like, as much as, we can say Cam relies on dad financially, which she should be able to trust her husband. She's raising a family.
Yeah.
There's so much that she does to keep us together.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's fair. You can't like I don't know. Women and
Yeah.
men bring different things to the table. So
Well, it's like Charlie Kirk was like, "You can't expect, like, your woman to do all the things that she does, your wife to take care of the kids, to take
yeah.
care of the home, and go to work and not have all this extra, like,
Yeah.
stress and not be able to have time for herself." And, like, if she can't you can't nurture yourself, it's really hard to nurture others. So
Right.
I just loved when he said that. He's like, "I'm not
Yes.
saying women can't work and,
Yeah.
only men can go to work and the women have to stay home, but if that's what she chooses or if that's what, you're trying to have a family, it's way more important for her to be raising her kids and trying to find a balance. And
Well,
then you
that's
can
how
always raise your kids and then as they get older, then you can get a job and or go back to work or do whatever you want to do. But
that's how I feel now. When you're
yeah,
it's the emotional burden of raising the kids and then also the financial burden of making sure
yeah,
there's actual food on the table. If you just have to worry about
yeah,
cooking the food, it's like, okay, I'll cook the food, I'll prepare the food, but when you have to worry about getting the food to the table and then cooking the food too,
yeah,
that's why if I would love eventually to be in a relationship with somebody, I don't need it, obviously, but it needs to be worth like I don't need another person to take
yeah.
care of. Like I
And I
got
think
enough.
there's like a balance, right? So if your husband's working, you want to know that what he's doing is taking care of
Yes.
everything. And yours is like helps. It's like it's
Yeah.
not like you need yours to also
Yes.
pay the bills, which is hard, especially in California and where we live. Like a lot of people can't afford one like live life here on one
One income.
salary.
Yeah. It's
And
tough.
so one income, one salary. And I mean, I totally get it. And it's that's why I don't want to say like the women shouldn't have to work. You just have to find
Yeah.
the balance and find if she is doing all those things at home, it's kinda hard to ask
Yeah.
everything of her.
Yeah.
So, like,
Then there needs to be a
yes.
little bit more like,
And want
okay.
and just there's a difference between a man wanting to do all those things and then, like, thinking that, "Oh, he has to," and he's resentful of it. So, it's like doing
Yes.
everything you can to provide and, like, if you need help, that's okay,
Yeah.
right? Because like, you can ask for help. We're a team. Let's help each other out, but don't expect, like, someone, your wife or whatever, to do
Yeah.
all of that extra
Right.
on top of
Like
it.
sometimes you're doing nighttime routine because we're both working and we're both
Yeah.
doing this and we're both doing that. So you're going to do a little bit, not just expect it. That's
Yeah.
more like a female role, I guess people would say. Whatever. Anyways, that was a
Girl,
good
bye.
question. Girl, bye. Okay. This is also a good question. Maybe this last one.
Okay.
Um, when dad was in jail, did we have a male role model?
Hmm.
We did not.
Not like yeah.
And I
I
think
mean,
that was by design.
yeah, my
I don't think
didn't
dad
want
wanted
other guys around.
any other men around.
I
Couple
mean,
times uncles.
yeah, we had my mom's brothers, our uncles. They were pretty close, and I remember hanging out with him a little bit. Michael hung out with Uncle Dino a lot. I remember he would spend time with them. We lived in LA and they were in Orange County. He would spend time with them a lot more. But no, I mean, I feel like Aunt Sabrina, it was like Ronnie, it was all other
Right.
women, other strong women around to like help mom out. But
Our nanny,
yeah,
she was
Nanny.
around a lot.
But no, not really.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Good question. Because I didn't even think about that until he asked it.
The women held it down.
Yeah, they did. They held it down. We still do. Okay. I think that's
That
it
was
for
good.
questions for
Yeah.
now.
Keep the questions coming.
Yeah. I'm interested to see. Hopefully we'll get some good questions from our podcast about Jack's
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
information. We'd like to address those and we'll do that next time.
All right.
All right.
So
Let's get
today's
to it.
episode, what are we going to talk about?
We're gonna talk about Cam,
Mom.
mom. I just
I
love
call her
Cam.
mom.
I just love Cam. Especially now. By the way, she like runs this whole show
Yeah,
and
she
she
does.
runs dad's entire operation. Like she is the producer. I don't think people know that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they do.
No, she produces, she films everything, she puts all the contacts together. I was actually very impressed because I didn't even realize everything that went into it and all
All
the
the
stuff that
cameras and
she's a producer.
sound and everything. Yep,
Yeah.
she is. We couldn't do this without her, that's for sure.
Yeah, so she's obviously producing ours too, but We're gonna talk a lot about Cam and then some good stories from when we were younger. Mostly Cam's perspective on the time that he was away and when he first came home,
Yeah.
because I think we hear a lot about dad, but we don't really hear and we were the only ones who were home with her, so
Yeah.
we know what it was like. Um,
I mean,
so
we're
yeah.
so young, so I think even now thinking about it more, you have I have a whole different perspective, right? When you're young, you don't really think about those things, but as I mean, I'm 15 years older than she was when she had 3 kids and dad was in jail. So I'm like, that alone blows my mind, right?
Oh,
I say that all the time. I'm like, I can't believe my mom did that. But
same.
yeah, so just kind of we want to just talk about it from how we think she handled the whole situation. And one day we would love to have her on the show and we will get her.
For sure,
We
we
will. I know so many people are always, even when my dad does his shows, "I wanna hear from your wife, wanna hear from your wife," and she does have an amazing story, and she does have a book, um, so if you really wanna get into it, you can always pick that up, but we are gonna have her on one day,
yeah,
but she is a huge behind the scenes character, I think, in my dad's story,
yeah,
but she's actually
the star.
the star. Yeah.
That's why I call her Cam. She's the star.
The star, Cam. I remember the first time you were like, "What's Cam doing?" or "Where's Cam?" And I was like, "Who the heck is Cam? What are you talking
First
about?"
of all, everybody calls her Cam or Cammy.
But I call her
I
mom.
know, I just, like
You're the only one in the family that calls her that.
I know,
That's not
and I
I
thought
guess you're the only
sibling.
child.
I thought she would get mad, but I think she likes it now.
I think at first she was like, "What?"
Yeah, she likes it
She's
now.
like, "That's, so, new
Disrespect
age."
new age, yeah,
To call your mom by her
dismissive.
first name. It's
Yep,
been a while now, though, so I think we're,
yeah,
used to it.
mhm.
All right. So let's get into it. I think maybe I'll ask you a question and
Sure.
we can go from there. All right. So how do you think I mean, we know stories and we know how we felt, but how do you think she really tried to protect us from what was actually going on with dad? As far as not letting us know too much detail.
About
Like, do
why
you
he
think she
was in
even
jail?
do you think she even
I
thought
don't
about
think she
that?
really knew a lot.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
good point.
what was on her side because I have a little bit of experience having kids, and I was young when I had my first, 24, not like as young. I think she was 22 when she had you? 23?
21,
21?
22.
I think being so young, I think that made her more resilient. Because she was 22 when she was a mom, I was 24,
Yeah,
and I think going through difficult times when you're younger, you're more resilient as a mom, and I don't know, because I think about, like, starting over, and I don't wanna, like, scare anybody when you're an older parent.
yeah,
There's pros and cons, but I think when you have hard things like that, being younger and maybe not, like, having the life experience because there's nothing for you to go back and be like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be so hard, or this is gonna be so
yeah,
tough for them," because we're kind of growing up together in a
yeah.
sense, and I think that's what she had that kept her, like, going those early years. So
And you don't think she really knew, like, the full scope of what was
right,
going on
'cause again,
anyways.
I don't think she knew the full scope, and I don't think I don't know, actually, we never asked her that. I mean, I know she was present for, like, charges. I'm
Yeah,
sure she did, but I don't think she
or maybe, fully understood.
understood what was going on and what he I mean, the charge that he went to jail for was not, like, a murder charge, so
Yeah,
maybe if she was like, "Dad's in jail for racketeering," we'd be like, "What the heck is that?" We wouldn't even know anyways because we
yeah.
were so little. So I don't know if she really knew.
I just know I remember, one thing she said was when they were going through it and realizing, okay, my dad's like, I'm gonna have to serve some time to get
Yeah,
out of this. Like, there's just no way around it. And it's also the safest with everything going on. That she was like, okay, they were like, let's get married. So they went to Vegas and they got married. And then she's like, don't leave me alone. Like, I don't want you to go to jail. And so she's like, I want to have a kid before you go because she wanted to have a baby. and they're married, so she was like that was one thing I remember saying to dad, like, "Don't go to jail without."
Really?
Yes, she
So
said,
she
like,
told
"Don't
you
leave me
that
alone."
because
Yeah,
obviously you weren't there.
I wasn't there yet. No, she told me that that's what she said, and
I
that's
never heard that.
why she had me, because for me, I would have been like, "Don't you dare
Girl.
knock me up
Yeah.
before you
Like,
leave, and
leave.
then leave me here with this child."
But that when you're young,
Yeah.
in your brain, you're like, "Don't leave me alone. Leave me a little, like, something, something to hang out with."
And I think for mom, she's like, "I wanna have, like, a piece of
Yeah.
us,
A
something
legacy.
that, like, keeps me, like, going," which I totally get now
Yeah.
too, but I'm also, like, both perspectives, I'd be like, "Oh my gosh," I'd be like, "Don't do this to me right before you leave because
Yeah.
then I'm gonna be like,
All
what
on
the
my
heck,
own.
all on my own," even
Yeah.
though Nanny was there and very much involved in helping her out, both
Not the
nannies,
same.
but yeah, no, not the same at all. But I do remember her telling me that, and yeah, so I, um I think she was, like, 21. It was, like, right before she turned 22. 'Cause
Yeah.
I or right or no, maybe right after 22. She's
22.
August, I was born November.
Yeah.
I was born a few days before Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and I don't think he went away until I was, like, 1,
Oh,
something like that.
so there you was home for your first year of life?
I think he was, like, going through the whole trial and
Are
everything,
we
but I don't think
stupid?
he
Because
was
there's a
actually
lot we
sentenced.
don't
That's what I'm
know.
saying. This, I think, is actually very gonna be very interesting to people.
I'm gonna
It's
listen
like,
and be like,
we
You're
should know
so
these facts, like, to a T, but we don't
but why should we?
I don't know. That's the thing is, like, we didn't ask these questions, and, like, they never talked about it. Like, dad didn't say, "So this is how it went. Da, 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 I went
Can you
this,
imagine that?
mom and got pregnant, then I went to jail, then I came home, then you" like, we never did that. And I feel like that also is, like, just shows the whole mob lifestyle, mob family styles, like, they don't
Seriously.
talk like, you don't talk about those things. It's almost like it didn't matter, right?
No.
It's like, "You're here, I'm home, we're" like, "Mom had you, everything was good."
So I don't
But
even know
right,
or
I don't
think
know that
about it.
actual timeline.
So,
No.
yeah, what
Now
the
that I'm trying to say it out loud, I'm like,
the only timeline I remember hearing is, like, dad was around. Maybe that makes sense for you in the beginning,
yeah,
and then
barely.
he came home for, like he did, like, 3 or 4 years, came home, and then went back, but, like, I from what I know is, like, I was conceived on a conjugal visit.
Yeah. Isn't
It
that called no, it's called a furlough,
furlough?
I think.
I think conjugal visit sounds
No,
cooler.
it's not a conjugal visit. It was a furlough. I
Girl, I like
think.
conjugal visit. That's
I
what I
don't
tell
think it's
people.
well,
It's like
furlough's
it
kind of the
that's why
same
I'm
thing.
gangster because I was conceived in a prison.
No.
Isn't that a conjugal visit?
Yeah, but I think the furlough's at least a little more
You just
romantical.
ruined my story.
The furlough is when he gets to, like, go do something. Oh,
But I
no,
was
yeah,
the
yeah,
second
yeah.
one. It doesn't need to be romantic.
He had to go do something for, for, like, pulling out straws here.
I'm
He
done.
had to go do something, and they were like, "Okay, we'll put you" he goes, "I'll only do it if you like, I'll only" not cooperate, but he had to, like, go help them do something with I think it was, like, NCAA, talk to the school, the youth about, like, anti-gambling, and he's like, "I'll do this if you put me up in a hotel and my wife can come stay with me." That's a real story.
Did you just make that up? Girl, that is not a real
That is a
story.
real story. We're gonna fact check with my
Okay.
dad, but that's a
Can
real
we fact check with
story.
him? Are they gonna is he
That's
gonna
a real
tell us?
story. I
Okay.
swear that's a real
So,
story.
man,
So,
I'm
whether
gonna
it was you or
no,
Michael
it
that
was
was made in
me.
that
It was
story,
me
it was
because
one of you
he
guys.
was home for 3 years. They got Michael got Michael.
They bought him a story. They picked him up.
They conceived Michael. He was home for a little bit with Michael, and then he went back.
Okay, yeah, so it was you. So you
Yes,
were the furlough.
whatever. I
A
like
little bit more romantical.
conjugal visit. That sounds better, and I'm going with it. But we'll back check. We'll get back to you guys on that.
I was not either one of those.
No, you were born out of love.
Mhm.
Well, we all were. This sounds stupid. Okay, good
We
information.
will definitely fact to get everything down to a T for the next episode,
Yeah.
but that story's real.
Okay, so for the first half that he was gone, we were all super young and we didn't know what was going on.
Yes.
And then my memories were the second part of it
Yeah.
when we would go to Lompoc and we were in an apartment. And then that's another thing that people were like, you guys were in all these mansions.
Oh, yeah, we were like a condo.
Yeah, we were in a condo
Yeah.
close to our school
Yeah.
because I remember those times vividly. I remember
Yeah,
lots
it
of
was a very nice
memories.
condo, but it was good because there was, like,
It was safe.
the bell guy, they had, like, the
Yeah,
security, you had to check in to go up, like,
it was safe.
it was safe, and that's what obviously dad wanted for us, but yeah, I
I think we
do.
spent most of our time did we spend all of our time for the second half? The second sentence or second half of the sentence that he served there? I don't remember being in another home, do you?
That I don't know.
Yeah. Those are, like, all my memories are at the
Those
Wilshire
are
Manning, the
wild.
Wilshire Manning, the Wilshire Manning, you
Like,
know?
when he was 9, when he was 9. When I was 9 and he came home, where did we come home to? Do you remember?
I have no clue. I just remember going to the Red Lion in
Sure.
Santa Barbara.
Yeah. I
Nothing
don't remember
crazy.
where we came home to, actually, that's
Me
interesting.
neither. I'll
Alright,
have to ask
well,
too. But that's another good thing that I think is crazy is that he was him and whoever else was providing for us
yeah.
because mom never worked, ever.
Yeah, she didn't have to work the whole time he was
But you say that,
in
she didn't
jail.
have to work. I wonder if like, I think about me today,
Yeah.
I would be like, "I'm not listening to you. I need to go and get a job." Because I think the anxiety of just waiting on somebody to
Yeah.
provide money, but also I think that's where being young really kinda works in your favor because you don't have the experience. So maybe at that age, I would be like, "Okay, like, as it comes," and
But I think, like, things just kept getting taken care of, and he had her
but
hands
she
full with
struggled
us
though.
3.
I do you know what? Now that I have a memory, just came up. Do you remember we drove down towards San Diego, and we stopped at Denny's somewhere. I think it was, like, to pick up money with
What?
mom. Yes, I'm gonna fact check this story.
Oh
Cause
my
you know
god.
why? Cause I went to school in San Diego State, and I'm telling you, you know when you, like, see something, you're
Well, we used to go to San Diego to visit Nana.
no, 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 it wasn't that. We didn't go to San Diego. So when I drive to San Diego, I don't know if it's San Clemente or
Yeah,
Dana
San
Point.
Clemente, that big Denny sign.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
That's right off the freeway.
there was somebody that dad was connected with that was helping us who lived down south, and I remember making a drive with mom to
Yeah, but
pick up
either way,
money
that
from
was
Denny's.
dad making,
Of
moves
course,
to
she wasn't making her
provide.
own gangster moves. I'm just saying I have a memory of that now. Like she was like I also don't want people to be like she was just sitting in the condo like, "Oh, money
Yeah,
came in today." Like she had to make some moves. There's only so much he could do. Like he could put the money together, but we had to go and drive to like Denny's in a parking lot and she picked up money.
0 memory of that.
I remember that. If I made that up, I need help. I really hope I did it.
I do know the Denny sign, though.
Okay, so but because I had to drive back and forth to school so much in
Yeah.
college, like I jogged my memory and I was like, "Oh my god, I remember that."
Mm.
But she like it was a struggle for her.
Well, I mean, it was a struggle taking care of 3 kids under the age of 5 at, like, 25.
Right, but also kind of worrying like, "Okay, I know like I'm not going to work. I know the money's coming," but she had to be like the one to like talk to the landlord or like,
Yeah, yeah.
like even if you're not providing the money, you still have to be the messenger in between. Like dad's not calling the landlord. Actually, you know what? He probably was. I don't even know what this guy was doing.
Wouldn't put it past him.
No, I wouldn't either. But I think it was very much by design that he did not want his young, sexy woman out in the workforce.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, "I will do everything in my power to
It's
make
not
sure
and
that
it's
she's
not
able
like
to work."
mom was, like, a stranger to that because she didn't grow up with money, and she had
Right.
6 siblings, and she was the oldest, and she worked to help put food on the table for them, so
Yeah. That's what I'm
she
saying. I
would go
think
to
her
school and
instinct was
work.
probably like,
"Do I get a job? Do
yeah."
I get a job?"
And he was
Yeah,
like, "Absolutely
not.
not."
Yeah, that's
For
probably very true.
yeah, I
Because I could see mom trying to be like, "I gotta step in,
or
I
like, "I
gotta
can't
help,
just
what
sit
can I do?
here and
I need
wait,"
to
or, "I'm
see."
tired of, like, like, just talking to this person and telling him I'm waiting on it and I'm waiting, like, oh my god, that would drive me crazy. But the
Yeah,
perspective is a so different when you're like now we're almost 40. Like can you think about doing that? And we're so independent now. So you're like, I'm not gonna wait on anybody
yeah.
to like send me some money. I gotta go figure it out. But again, it, it, it was different. And it shouldn't be like that. If your husband's on jail, you should be able to trust them that they're gonna provide. But I don't know. That was such a crazy time. I think about that all the time. It's just a weird thing and how they made it happen. And then she never worked after that in the workforce. Obviously, she worked, keeping this
Very
family
hard.
together.
Yes. Keeping us together, keeping it together.
Yeah.
Do you remember mom, like, breaking down?
Oh, rarely. Honestly, rarely. Still, I rarely see her cry.
Yeah.
But I remember a vivid memory too of remember that little Mickey Mouse couch we had? Was it Mickey Mouse or was it a red couch?
The little red
No, the little red
leather,
one is the one.
like,
Yes.
couch couch. That was the best. It was like a one-seater
Yes.
little red leather couch. That
Was
was
that in
so
the Manning
expensive.
house?
That was in the Manning,
Okay.
yes. When he used to stack the things on top, you know, on
Yes.
top.
I feel like there was a place in between Cam's bedroom and our bedroom because actually Michael was further, even though he slept with Cam and he'll forever. There was that little place where that couch was, and I was had this Christmas, snow globe, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna drop it." And mom was like, "Don't do that. Be careful." And she normally, she knows she was she would spank us and stuff, but she never got, like, aggressive, and I dropped it and I cracked it, and she completely broke down, and I felt like shit. I will never forget that. And she was like, "Dad gave that snow globe to me," and she was like, "That was just a signifier that it's over.
Or like,
He's
he's
never
never coming
coming
home.
home. The snow globe is done." And I felt so bad. But
Did she didn't yell at you either. She's
she broke
probably just
down. That
like,
was even
yeah.
worse. She broke down, and then we were all huddled there by the little chair, just, like, crying. I remember crying with my kids crying, everybody's just like, "Ah," like, we're all just looking at each other crying.
That's a memory I have, and I don't even remember what exactly led to that point, but I just remember mom being mad at us or something, or I wanted to go somewhere, I wanted to do something, and I was breaking down. I don't know if it was just me by myself, but I just remember crying and being like, "I want dad." And she was crying and she was like, "So do I."
I don't
And like, yes, I remember that very vividly. And I was just like, okay, we all want dad. And we just cried, same
Yeah.
thing. But like, that's like one of the only memories I really have. Like, there were so few and far between that she was so good because I'm sure she cried a lot in her bed at night
I don't know, 'cause
by
Michael was
herself.
next to her.
He pro That guy could sleep through anything. I
That's
probably didn't hear a
true.
damn thing.
That's remember he slept through the earthquake in
Yes,
'94, and we were like,
exactly.
"What the heck? How did you sleep through that?" The whole damn house was shaking left and right.
No, actually, he wasn't
Oh,
sleeping.
I
Remember, he
know,
was
he hid
hiding
behind
behind the
the
thing?
that was sad.
We thought it
And
was
who
that
was
we
with
couldn't find
us?
him, and he was hiding.
Because we built a fort, and we were sleeping in the
We
living
were,
room,
yeah.
and it was pitch black, and then obviously he couldn't have, like, escaped, and we were like, "Where the heck is Michael? Where the heck is Michael?" And he was silent for once in his freaking
Yeah,
life. He was hiding behind that was
he was
sad.
hiding behind the, like, TV thing or
Yeah. Who else was with us, though? I
whatever.
thought someone, like, was Raquel with us?
I remember.
Cam's sister, Raquel?
I remember we went to Aunt Sabrina's
Yeah.
Ishak's house.
Yeah, that was wild. That was super scary.
Yeah. Thing is we were in that high rise, so it
Yeah.
was, like, rolling. It felt like
Yeah.
you were, like, rolling side to side, and we were pretty high up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But anyways, I'm sure she did cry, and I'm sure she did have meltdowns, and you wanna know
of
the
course she
crazy
did.
thing about all this that I didn't even find out till later is she didn't drink!
Oh, yeah. She did it.
I'm like, "You're telling me that you got through 9 years of your husband and being in jail, being a single mother, whatever, okay,
Yeah.
obviously, but
I think she, like, barely started drinking wine with,
girl,
like, Ronnie,
or
like, on a
coffee!"
at her 30th
She
birthday
didn't
or
drink wine, she
something.
didn't drink coffee. I'm like, how the f did you get through those and there were no housewives. How did you get through everything? That's what keeps me going,
No
girl.
trash TV.
Wine, housewives,
Yeah.
coffee. I don't even know where I would be without those 3 things. That is a fact
To
of
this
life.
day.
Yeah, that's like my time at night is like that's where my life begins.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I wish I didn't drink till I was 32.
Right?
It's pretty impressive.
That's really impressive.
I think it was kind of those things one of those things that,
She
like,
never drank.
she
Dad
never
didn't really drink
drank.
either.
No, dad didn't either, and, like, I mean, we don't need to get too much into it, but, like, her dad drank a lot, so that was probably, like, very off-putting, when you see your parent, doing that as you're growing up and trying to take care of
Yes,
your
I think
family,
about
so
that.
that was probably a big reason why she's like, "I don't wanna touch that stuff, like, look at how it makes people act." And we didn't really have that because they didn't drink, so we were kinda like, "Oh, drinking's fun," like, our friends do it, like, we didn't
Right.
have, like, a negative
Yeah.
obviously, like, there are negative sides to drinking, even if
Yeah.
you don't have a parent that drinks, but
Yeah,
we just kind
exactly.
of were
We
like,
didn't
"Oh, we don't know what it's gonna
right.
be. How am I gonna feel? How's it
You
gonna
don't
affect
grow up with
me?"
an alcoholic
Yeah.
parent, it's very different.
Yeah, so
And
I
it's
think that
crazy,
was
dad never
why.
drink either.
Yeah, when I feel like dad
Only in the
didn't
last, like,
start
10
drinking
years.
very recently. Yeah, I would say like 10 years. I remember one time we went to dinner and I ordered a martini and dad was like, only alcoholics drink martinis.
Girl
Like,
power.
why are you ordering that? And I'm
Girl
like, because it's tasty. And then, like, probably 10 years later,
Yeah.
John sends me a video of him and dad in New York
Drinking
drinking
martinis.
martinis at a restaurant, and dad's loving it.
Did you
And I'm
say
like,
who drink martinis? Only
I did. I
alcoholics?
was like, "Oh, dad, you must be an alcoholic now." He was laughing,
I know.
but
That's
he
so
does like his
wild.
drinks now,
Yeah, he'll drink wine.
and
He
I
still
like it.
doesn't
He
drink
gets a
anything
little
else.
loose sometimes. It's funny.
So does Cam.
Dad's funny though when he gets a little loose. He's
Yeah.
super like, the family's gonna get together every day, and we're
Yeah.
gonna have dinner every night, and we're gonna talk about times past and how
Yeah.
amazing it was. And I'm like, Dad, are you okay? He gets very like happy
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
everything's great.
It's a good time.
Family's the best.
Yeah. But that's wild to me to think that she went through all of that without any vice.
Yeah. You know what her vice was?
What? That one show?
No,
Oh, what?
her faith.
That was a little
Literally.
girl. Yeah.
I mean, there's no way she could have got through. And I think that's all she needed, really. And as hard as it was, her faith was so strong, in great part to Nanny, her mother.
In all
And
parts to her.
yeah,
I
and
think the
I
two of them together.
think that like she just trusted that whether he was going to bring dad home or whether, there was going to be food on the table the next day or what, I'm sure like no one's just has the best faith where they never falter and they never have, you know, dark thoughts. But I just feel like that was what kept her going and it had to. Like you said, she didn't do anything else. She didn't have like all these, hobbies and activities she didn't drink. She didn't like watch a lot of TV. I don't even remember mom ever watching TV. Like,
I do. I
I
can't
feel
remember that show. I'm gonna ask her to
oh,
watch
I
it.
know,
You know what I'm talking about?
Mad About You.
Mad About You.
She loved
Yes.
that show. She would laugh hysterically.
Yeah.
That's like literally the only show,
If
and
you
that's
remember
like
that name, of
sitcom,
course. Yeah.
It
That's
was like
true.
so like wholesome, and I just think like, Ronnie tried to started to creep in and be like, "Cam, let's go out." And she'd be like, "Are you kidding? Mike would kill me if he
Yeah.
found out I went out." And I'm sure like maybe, they did sneak out a few
I
times and
remember a couple.
they probably, had a great time, but I can't imagine it being, I mean, I can't imagine mom ever getting wild.
Ronnie's wild.
But yeah, exactly.
So maybe
And Ronnie probably tried to like pull it out of her, like, Scumpy, she called her Scumpy. He's not gonna know. How is
yeah.
he gonna know,
That would be the friend that I would be.
Yeah, you'd be like, "He's not gonna
He's not gonna
know."
know. Just live your best life, girl. What happens tonight stays in tonight.
But probably she was like, "Who the heck's gonna watch the kids?" Like,
Yeah. They would
like,
have a couple
we
like
had
Leah
families.
Zonas, remember?
Yeah, Leah's own it.
Couple sitters that would
So
Ronnie would
Ronnie's
help.
like,
Yeah.
"Let's go, Leah, get over here. I'm taking my girl out."
Yeah. Ronnie, we talked about her before too. She wants to come on the podcast. She's the best.
Yeah,
We
we gotta.
we basically grew up with her. She's my godmother. She's like a second mommy to us.
And her and our mom met in line. She was visiting her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Mom was visiting dad.
Yeah.
I
That's how we
forget
started dancing because she went to
forget
dance studio.
what jail it was.
I don't know. Was it LA?
No, I think it was Terminal Island, maybe?
Where the heck's that? That's LA.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's LA.
But yeah, they met in line and they became fast, close besties.
Besties. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm sure like that's another thing. I wish I knew more stories about that.
About what?
About mom going,
Ronnie tells me they had a good time.
well, why does Ronnie have to tell you? Why can't mom tell
Because
you?
you know how mom is.
Be smart.
She's smart. Maybe we could pull it out of her next time we're on the podcast. We'll serve some
My
wine.
wild
If we
stories.
have her and Ronnie, that would be a good because then Ronnie would be like, fact check. This is what really happened.
That would be a hilarious
I mean,
episode.
yeah, she never said anything wild, but she said that she definitely had
Good. I'm glad.
yeah,
But mom had to keep her sanity, right?
and a couple of like
And let it loose a little bit.
suitors
A couple
who
little jigs here and there.
Ronnie was like, she could have had a couple of hot.
I'm sure. We gotta put a photo in this episode of what Mama Franzese looked like in her 20s. Not that she's
Yeah.
not still gorgeous, but she
Yeah.
was icy.
That's why dad was not like, "I'm gonna support you from jail." He's like, "This ain't going anywhere, nowhere," because he knew. He knew. Might have been over for him. You imagine? Could you imagine? I
Yeah.
could just see him, like, breaking out of the jail like Hulk, and just, like, going absolutely insane. That would've been the end of him.
I think it was true love or fear.
Both.
A little bit of both.
I think it was a little bit of both. It's like I don't care how in love you are with somebody. First of all, once you have your children, I think you still love your man, and maybe because I haven't experienced this, so just don't, like, you know, crucify me, but once I don't think I've experienced, like, love like that, not with my ex. But once you have your kids, it's almost like that becomes
Different.
your true love, and you can live without anybody else. So I'm not saying that you're not in love with your husband, and obviously, like, they're your partner and you need them, but it's like nothing compares to that. And then once you go through those hard times, it's like you can't live on love. You just cannot. So I do think that she loved him. I also think she was young. I think she was scared. She's like, these are his children. He is hopefully eventually getting out. It's
Yeah.
not like he's going anywhere.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? Like, we're a family.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And I do think Nanny too was like,
Yeah.
be a good wife.
Yeah.
I come home because she really did love dad too. And she
Yeah.
prayed for him all the time. And she saw so many things. And we all say that she prayed dad into the position that he is now, speaking
Yeah.
to all the churches and all over the world. And she really, I think, saw what other people couldn't see and believed that dad was like gonna have great things in his future. And I think she was just telling mom, be patient,
She's so
pray.
used to suffering, that woman, so she was probably like, "You're
You're okay.
suffering, but it's a part of God doesn't promise that you're not gonna suffer." She was so steadfast and faithful that she was like, Cam,
Yeah.
like, you signed up for this,
Yeah.
and you're gonna stick with your man,
Mhm.
stand by your man until he comes home, and then you're gonna work through that." So I think, yeah, she was probably pretty instrumental in that.
I feel like
Such a difference.
we're very different. Like, well, actually, I don't want to speak for you. Like, for me, when I think about that, I think I kind of got that from mom, where I'm very like loyal and I'm like kind of like a ride or die with my person. And I don't think I ever really had someone until now, my husband, that they really like earned that or deserved that. And they kind of just like got it. But I think that my husband now, like, I can see myself going through a lot of hard things and standing by him, you know? And it also there's degrees of what that means, right? Like, standing by him for stuff like that could be tough in a marriage, but I feel like I would be willing to deal with a little bit more than, like, say, you would or say someone else would. I don't even know, like, exactly what I'm talking about, because it's like there are so many levels. There's going to jail, there's cheating, there's financial struggles, there's losing your job, there's so many different levels.
There's abuse.
There's abuse. Yes, exactly. So, I guess I feel like if that happened to me now, if me and mom were me or if mom and dad were like me and wed now, I could totally stand by him and, like, stick it out. If it was me, though, at mom's age, I don't think I could have done it. And you're saying when you're younger, like, that it's easier to do, and maybe because I'm older trying to look back, I'm
Yes.
saying I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But especially if I had no kids,
Well, yeah, I think if I didn't have kids and if she didn't have kids, I don't think that it would have lasted. I don't think so.
I don't know. See, I still feel like
I think that's the glue that keeps you
even if
together.
she didn't, I feel like she still would.
Maybe she was a faithful woman and she had her mom, that was very persistent on like, again, the grass isn't greener on the other
Yeah.
side. It's greener where you grow it, and this is your marriage and you're going to grow it. I don't, she had that like forceful person telling her that. So, so maybe you're right. I don't know. I'm not a fair weather wife, by the way. I
I don't
stuck
mean that.
in through a lot.
That's why I said I don't wanna speak for
No,
but I don't
I know,
mean
but I
that.
feel like everybody thinks I'm like a man hater.
No, I'm not
Oh,
saying that. I'm just saying sometimes I feel like and I don't even know what like, it could be a negative reason that I do it. Like, I feel like
you're very
I
more much in that old school, and
yeah,
I do like appreciate being faithful and loyal. Like, I'm not saying, the first something that goes awry, you leave. I'm not saying that at all. Like, a marriage is a serious thing, and to break it is a serious thing to go through. It depends on the level of, the crimes that either of you commit. But I do think a lot of women suffered through marriages that they were not happy in. I think that's different. They came around. Their story is you're going to be 40, right? They've been together for 40 years.
yeah,
So there's been at least there needs to be a 50-50 good and bad. You know, there's the pendulum's going to swing throughout the years. You're going to go through a season. If you look back on 40 years, you could have a bad season of 10 years.
yeah.
But I think it just depends. If you're going through something that is not gonna change, or it's, an emotionally abusive relationship and your health is not. I don't believe in that old school, just stand by your man no matter what. Because some of these same thing, with women, not all women are like the
Yeah.
victims, but I think it really just depends. It should be a 50-50 good outweighs the bad. I think when you start going in that 20-80 and you're just being with someone for the potential, 3, 4, 5, 10,
Yeah.
the
No,
potential is not
the
there
potential
after.
is yeah.
The potential is in the first year or 2, and if they're not hitting those marks, that's when you need to make a decision. But yeah, you should be faithful and you should stand by your man if unless he's, like, hurting you then you'd have to really look at it, but
'Cause I feel like, I don't know, just going back and back, like, even Nanny and Grandpa, like, and Nanny York and Sonny, like, even though they were, like, like, they never got a divorce, like
but they were basically it wasn't a legal divorce, but they weren't
but I feel like
together, were
Nanny
they?
still, like, took
God, I
care
don't
of
remember
Grandpa,
that.
like
Oh my god.
and I feel like they Nanny York still kind of did I don't know, I
But
think
that's where it should have been like, bye. But when you get at that point, he's like, "He's in jail. Do I need to get a divorce?" Like, we're doing our things.
yeah,
I don't know what she was doing, but maybe she just, like, didn't go through the legal process. But even I mean, mom's parents.
that's
I
what I was
mean
saying.
oh, I thought you were talking about Sonny.
No, first I said nanny when I say nanny and grandpa, I mean mom's mom and dad.
Okay. When I hear nanny and grandpa, I think
You
of
think them.
nanny
Mom and dad.
yeah, because of
Yeah.
my kids are calling nanny and
I know,
grandpa.
that's funny. No,
So I'm like, "Which nanny grandpa set are we talking about?" You're talking about
my
Irma and
nanny.
Fred. Our
Our
nanny and
nanny.
our
Yeah.
grandpa, girl, bye. That woman was yeah. But she was also like, "What am I gonna do? Am I gonna leave this guy? What am I gonna do?" That's her mentality.
Mhm.
That was just
But I also don't remember as much of a clown grandpa could have been at times, like, I don't remember, like, them really fighting, not like Nanny York and Grandpa
yeah.
Sonny. Like, I remember, like, you can like, a little bit of, like, tension, whatever, going on, but, like, Nanny kinda just like, "Okay," like, like, she couldn't be
Whatever, Fred.
bothered, yeah.
Whatever, Fred. Whatever.
Couldn't be bothered, but still took care of him. Probably kicked him out a few times, but he always came back, she always let him come back.
Yeah, I'm not down
But
for
I
that.
think also, like you said, I think also in the older generations, like, they
Yeah.
were more prone to do that.
It just
Like, divorce wasn't
yeah.
you don't even think about that, it's not a thing, and, like, now
It shouldn't be like a divorce is like, "Oh, I'll just get married and get divorced if I don't like
yeah,
them." I'm not saying that at all by any means. But I do think there is a fine line of staying too long in something that's not going to be fruitful and
yeah,
then, cutting it off too early because it's like this isn't working. Like,
I agree.
there need to be serious things that you can't move past.
Yeah, so I think also, just like I said, I feel like I do have a little bit of that ride or die mentality from mom because I watched her just just stand by dad through it all, And
I'm crazy
I'm sure
about
she
this.
questioned it. Actually, I know she did a million times. I mean, there was a time, and this was long after he was home,
Yeah,
like maybe,
10
10
years.
or so years ago, where she was like, I don't know if I could do this
Yeah.
anymore. And I was like jaw drop. Like, even though I knew they were struggling and I knew they were going through a tough time. I was just like, "No, like, what do you mean?" But I was also, like, hearing her side at the time. It
Yeah,
was like, I understood, and it was like and I remember being, "It's not that I don't love your dad, I just, like it's
can't
just
do
so
that.
much, like, I just can't do it anymore." And I think she really, really questioned it and obviously chose differently, but after I think she made the decision to okay, and I wonder, like, what were those deciding factors, right? That made her not want to go that route, and
I
I think a lot of it's us.
and
A lot of it's
Julia,
us
because
individuals.
most of it, I know she struggled obviously when we were teenage, but we were kind of all grown-ups, so it's like, "Mom, you don't need to stay for us." But she's like, "But I
But I also
do."
think she loves dad, like,
Yes,
more than anything in the
she's
world.
known
It's
him
like her
whole
sweetheart,
life.
right? Yeah, it's her
You
sweetheart,
go
and
19 years on the planet with without somebody and then 40 something years with them.
I was just
It's
like I
crazy.
remember thinking like, "What the heck would that look like?"
Yeah,
I'm
what would you
like
guys do? Would dad get an apartment? Like,
yeah.
where would you even stay? Is you and Jules, or is Jules going with dad? Like,
And then
what?
she'd be like, "I don't know, but I gotta get a job." And I'm like,
I
"Mom,
know, she's having a
no."
hard time.
I was like, "No, I no, like,
Now
this
she has
doesn't
a
make
really
any."
good
I
job.
know, now she has a
Now she's
great
a
job.
producer.
She's a producer, she's crushing it, but I just remember being like, "Wait, this can't be," like and honestly, I was this sounds crazy. I hope dad doesn't get mad, but
Oh,
I was honestly more worried for dad than mom because I was like,
of
if mom leaves
course.
dad,
Of
he's gonna lose his
course. Of
mind. Like,
course.
he's obsessed with mom.
Of
And so
course.
I was just like, "Oh, no, mother, like, what are we gonna
And what would
do?"
the heck would he do?
He would just be at her apartment every day. So I was like, "Mom, this I know I understand that you're going through some tough stuff, and I totally don't
Knock it
wanna
off.
diminish that, but, like, can we just sleep on it
Knock it
maybe
off.
take, like, a weekend and come back?" I was
Yeah.
like, "Girl, bye. What are
I
we
think
gonna do?"
there yeah, that's true. I think, and then once you get that part well, I can't even talk. Once you get past that point, you're like, "We are old." We're, not old, but yeah, we're in our late stages. Like, "We ain't going anywhere, girl. This is it.
And
You're
honestly,
tired of
like,
me, go take a
I don't
nap."
know what they did, but things definitely changed. So maybe that was like a wake up call for dad or whatever. And then mom was like, I do want to do something. And then she started getting involved
Yeah.
with dad's stuff and the Instagram and the YouTube. And like maybe she just wanted to like be a part of something or feel like she had more
Yeah.
like a purpose. And like she's amazing at it. And
Yeah.
she always loved photography and she always, I want to go back to school. I want to do that. So I think she finally found something where she fits in really well. She does
Yeah.
a great job, and now, like, dad relies on her for that. So
Yeah.
not only, like, just being the mom and taking care of the home and
Yeah.
all that, he relies on her
Yeah.
for a lot of his business stuff too, and I think that really empowers her and makes her feel,
Yeah.
you know,
It's important.
awesome, and so I with that empowerment and all that and her just making the decision to be like, "Okay, I'm gonna stick through this," and I'm sure a lot of that is her praying about it, and I feel like I slowly started to see
Yeah.
things to change,
And their
and the
temperaments
relationship
change.
changed, the temperaments
Like,
changed.
Camp,
Yeah.
which is hilarious, got spicier as she got older, and dad now, he's
Is
like,
softer.
"What am I" Sonny, I guess. Like, "What am I gonna do?" Like, sometimes Cam will light dad up, and he just be like he'll just look at me and go,
And I go, "Can you believe this?" He just said something
like,
yesterday,
"Before?"
and I was like, "Darn, I do the same
Girl,
thing."
yeah, you do. I catch you too with your
I
man, and I'm
I
like,
know.
"Girl, you gotta but I'm like, Cam's like, "After 40 years, I can light this man up because I have been through thick and thin,
I know,
honey."
but now I'm 40.
But you haven't been with this guy for
But I've been
40
through 4 years of
years.
life, and it's made me
I
it's
know.
hardened me up a little
I
bit.
get it. But I think now that we see mom, like, she's very, like,
Oh my gosh,
snappy
I see it all the
and her
time.
comments, and he's, instead of being so reactive, I think he's finally just like, "What am I gonna do?"
Yeah. And I mean, at least when
Well,
I'm around, they'll, like, laugh about it, and he'll be like, "Okay, hold on, guys. I gotta ask something really quick.
yeah.
Cam, can I
Oh, yeah,
ask you
yeah.
a question?"
And she's like,
And
"No."
she's like, "No." He goes, see, I can't even ask a question without her getting mad." And I was like, "That's literally me." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, shoot." And when I hear mom say it to dad, I'm like, "Mom," but then I'm like, "Oh gosh,
Yeah.
I do the same thing." But yeah, he's like, "I can't even ask a question now. She gets mad at me for asking a question. I don't know what's going on."
Yeah.
She's like, she's gatekeeping all her secrets.
Yeah. It's changed. The dynamics changed. The temperaments change, it worked out. It's still working out.
Still working out.
It's important.
Gosh.
Divorced parents when you're older, I think, would suck even more.
Yeah.
It's like, where the heck we go on a Sunday dinner at?
Ah, sometimes one family Sunday dinner is hard enough to go to 2.
Yeah,
That would be hard,
that would
but
be hard.
we would do it if we had
Of
to,
course.
but we don't.
Yeah,
But, yeah,
that's good.
good times.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, me being married for 40 years, that I'll have to be 80 years old.
Oh, girl,
Isn't that crazy?
that is crazy.
80. I keep telling Webb, I'm like, "I think 85 and I'm good." He's like, "What do you mean you're good?" I'm like, "'Cause his grandma lived to, like, 100 and something, and Grandpa Sonny lived to, like, 104, and I'm like, "Guys, that is a long time."
I
I
want to
don't
live
uh
100 years. I need to for
Wow.
my son.
For your son?
For
You're
my
gonna have to because by the time you have your baby in the next year or two,
girl.
you're great. Look at you. You're fit and healthy.
Is this part of the episode?
I know. Wait.
That's fine.
Okay.
I love this.
Yeah, no, I do that with dad sometimes, and then
Oh
I
yeah.
just leave it in there.
Okay. Good.
You know that one thing
What?
where they put the dog there and then the owners run in opposite directions and they see where the dog goes?
Yeah. We should do it with them.
I'm saying, so, like, if mom and dad were, like, right here
Oh, which
and
way would you run?
yeah, like, if mom and dad ran, who would you go to? That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I mean, you gotta choose. Mom and dad right here, they take off running. Do you think for a second or do you automatically I'm
I would be stuck.
gosh, I know that's hard.
I'd be stuck.
I think I have to say mom.
Yeah, dad.
Oh, that's a hard one, guys. Exactly. We need you both. We need them both.
Different things.
Yeah.
We need them both for different things.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of
Girl, bye. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with somebody that you think might want to hear it. Or maybe somebody needs to hear it, when you just like,
Everybody needs to hear this.
yeah. You're like, this one's for you. Or
Yeah.
speaking to your phone, and then like it'll randomly pop up on your partner's phone. They're like, oh, yeah. Isn't it weird how that happens?
Yeah.
Speak it into existence. Anyway,
Exactly.
thanks, guys. We'll see you next
See you
week.
next week.